for, what's the date today?
4th.
The 4th, February 4th, okay.
March.
Or March 4th. Oh, I'm a month behind. Sorry, guys, March 4th. Okay, Commissioner Scott is slated to give the invocation, but since he's not here, I will give it, and then we'll have the pledge by Mitch Sundell. I can wait.
Stop back there.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day and for the opportunity which we have to be able to meet here in this county building, to be able to discuss the matters of the county. Father, we're so grateful for this land and for the opportunities that it brings us. We're grateful for those who serve us here, with our fire and EMS and Sheriff's Department and all the others who help to provide services to people here in the county. Father, we're grateful for those men and women who serve us abroad. Please guard and protect them and keep them out of harm's way. And please help us that we might be able to appreciate those sacrifices that they make for our freedoms, that we are able to enjoy and live in the communities that we live in and be able to enjoy that freedom that they give. Father, please bless us with thy spirits this night, that we might be able to make the decisions that would be pleasing unto thee and be able to do the things that should be best for the county and moving things forward. Again, we are grateful for the opportunity and the land that we have to live here, and we say these things humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Will the audience please rise? Please repeat the Pledge of Allegiance after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Okay. Any former agenda items or anything we need to
I
discuss?
don't think so. You got
Okay,
any?
I don't have anything. So, just to comment, we did have a great day down on the hill today. Joan Hammer does a great job with our tourism stuff, and she was down there, and we just want to thank her for all her efforts. I think she slipped out, so.
I think the thing that really got to me is if they didn't have the tourism we have in Utah, it would cost $1,284 per household to have the same services and taxes that we have. So that's how much tourism brings to the state and every person in the state. So I was impressed with that.
Yeah, and we want to thank Joan because she does a great job for us, so. Other than that, let's see, we'll move on. We don't have anything, we don't have any minutes to approve. So, looks like, Mike, you're up, so.
You're walking a little better.
Just
Summertime.
better. Do we have that microphone up there?
We'll get it.
Oh, is it under, on the chair? Oh, it's right here, Bill. I'm looking at it. Sorry. Yeah, just state your name for the record.
Michael Olson.
All right. We appreciate you being here. I know that we've dragged this out many weeks, and we appreciate your patience. We just want to make sure that we could get this figured out right. I know that in deliberating with Attorney Hatfield and really to give credit for the idea we came up with, Commissioner Summers is the one that actually came up with the idea so that we could protect the county's interests but still be able to make things right for you.
Yeah.
And so from what I understand, well, go ahead, Commissioner, tell them what you proposed.
If I would have articulated it better the last time, you wouldn't have to come back here. So anyway, we're just talking about doing a lien on the property. So basically, every year a portion of that tax would come off by the end. But if you for some reason sold it, then it would have to be made whole.
Right.
So if that's okay with you, then
No, that sounded good. I appreciate you working with me.
okay.
I like the idea that I don't have to come back in 5 years and try to get it
Right.
reapproved, so.
Okay. And we've got okay from everybody involved, so I think if everybody's okay with that, is there anything you want?
Just to clarify for the record a little better, basically what What it'll be, it won't be a tax lien necessarily, it'll just be a lien pursuant to an agreement between the county and the Olsons that would say in exchange for the county forgiving the rollback taxes, there will be lien on the property in the exact same amount as the rollback taxes. And the reason for that is if they're forgiven and the property's sold, taxes can't ever be assessed again. And so because they go back 5 years, each year a fifth of that amount would go away until the fifth year it'd all go away.
Right.
And I think the stipulation would be in the event that it is taken out of Greenbelt, not necessarily sold, but taken out of Greenbelt, those would become due at that
At
point
that
in time.
So it'll just basically take 20% off each year
Right.
as it goes along.
Yeah.
And then if that were to happen, it would be treated as taxes by the county, even though it's not really taxes, and distributed to all the taxing entities that would normally get them.
Okay.
So, and I think the way that should be done, I can prepare that lien. What we'd want to do is make sure that was signed before the taxes are forgiven. So I can get that prepared, and then we would, in another county commission meeting, forgive the taxes.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess the only questions would be, and I've talked to the treasurer about this, I guess the only questions would be as far as the taxes have been paid by the mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
So there'd have to be a refund once the taxes are forgiven. And then you'd have to work out, I guess, with the mortgage company as far as getting your payment back down to where it was.
Right, and I've already made 2 payments on their higher
Right.
tax schedule, so really I've kind of paid like a sixth of it, I guess.
And I don't know how they're gonna wanna work that out with you as far as who gets the refund from the county.
I visited
Right.
with Sean about that for a minute the other day, and I think it'd probably be easiest to give you the money and let you work that out with the mortgage company. And being able to factor that out.
And if you have any other thoughts or prefer it a different way, we're open to that, but,
Okay, no, that's fine. So I come to your office sometime and sign it? Is that,
yeah, what I'll do is I'll let you know when it's ready. Then you can come and
Okay.
sign it.
and you have
We'll
my
just-
contact info, right?
I can get it, I don't know if I've got it, but I can,
Yeah,
who's got it?
we can get it to you.
Okay,
But I was gonna say, we can go ahead, we'll wait and approve it in the next commission meeting. You won't need to be here,
Okay.
but then we can call you and you can come in and sign it with Steve.
Oh, okay, so it needs to be approved before I sign it?
Yeah,
he could probably
Well,
sign it,
You can probably sign it, then we
and
can
then we
approve it
can
after.
approve it.
yeah,
If you didn't
okay,
approve
so
it,
as soon as
yeah,
he
sign it.
gets it done, but
Or you can
Yeah.
come back to the next commission. We were
We've got
getting used to
your-
seeing you here.
we've got his info, we'll get to you. So, yeah, so Steve's office will be getting in contact with you and you can
Okay,
get that signed.
thank you very much,
So-
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry for the delay and having it drag out, but hopefully this takes care of everything.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Thanks for coming up.
thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
And again, kudos to Stan for coming up with a good idea.
Yep,
Once in a while.
this is Stan's idea,
Outside the
so,
box a little bit.
all right. Bruce Larkin, Tom, you want to give us a little background on that?
Bruce is here, but I volunteered to come up on his behalf. Mr. Larkin has filed in previous years for the county abatement and has received it. And for the 2019 year, there were some unforeseen medical issues that arose that prevented Bruce from being able to file his abatement for last year. So we're just here asking for forgiveness that would equal the abatement amount as if he had applied for it. So my recommendation would be the commission grant that abatement to Mr. Larkin, do the forgiveness to Mr. Larkin in the amount, which would be $577.22 for the 2019 tax year.
And it was some illnesses and things that prevented him from.
Yeah.
coming.
This is the
Yeah.
first time it's happened.
First
but-
time, Mr. Larkin's always brought it into me.
Okay.
Never had it, but there were just some unforeseen things that popped up that prevented him from getting it
Okay,
in.
I'd
Okay.
entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we forgive the taxes on parcel 03-150-0023 to the tune of $577.26 for 2019.
Okay, I second that. I have a
Sorry.
motion by Commissioner.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
There needs to be findings made, I think, on the record as far as why it has to be in the best human interest and in the interest of the
Okay.
county. So
Oh,
basically, you just need to set forth the reasons why you're doing that on the record.
So I'm going to make that longer. Okay. And two, it's the best interest of the county for human interest reasons that we forgive this tax.
okay.
But what's that based upon? That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I thought you talked about based upon that he's had some health issues in the past, so.
Okay.
Yeah, this has never happened before, so, okay. I will second that motion. So I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Mr. Larkin, for coming in.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right.
Janet.
Jan?
My name is Janet Williams. I am here on behalf of a committee that is putting together a fundraiser for my nephew's little girl who's fighting leukemia. We have reserved the museum building at the fairgrounds on May 2nd to do a benefit dinner and fundraiser and auction for her. And it was my understanding if we come before the commission that you would possibly forego the fee for the rental of the building. So I'm just asking if we can forego the fee and therefore give the proceeds to the family.
What date is this again?
May 2nd.
May
It's a
2nd?
Saturday night.
And she's already checked with Jan, and there's nothing
That's-
going on, right?
That's
Jan?
good. It's good on your calendar, Jan?
It's on my calendar, but I think it was on for the Home Arts building.
Oh, is that the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I don't know what the name
I
is.
see that confused. I
Sorry.
call it the event center, so.
I don't know what.
Okay.
Okay.
That's tough. I'm sorry that, sorry you're having to deal with that and go through that. It's especially for a 5-year-old,
She's 3.
3-year-old.
But yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd make a motion that we forgive the fees of the event center for that night. And thank you for doing this for the community, and basically for community purposes. That's what we put it up there for, is to be used for these kind of things, so we appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
I will second that. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Janet.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Just
Nothing?
talk
Get
to
with
Jan.
Work with Jan.
Thank you so much.
And then don't forget to talk to Tom for your mom's stuff, okay? Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay. Monica,
Okay, I was
come on up.
the screen moved.
It's all Chrissy's fault. If that screen doesn't work, it's all.
You were,
I'm just coming early.
well, I was just gonna say,
So our applications for Peach Days actually go out in mid-March, and so for the food court and everywhere. So I'm asking permission to use the county grounds again for
Wow.
Peach Days.
that's awesome.
September 11th and 12th this year.
It's amazing how many people think Peach Days and the fair are the same event. Oh,
Really? They're 2
honestly,
weeks apart.
everywhere. They're like, oh, I'd love to come up to Peach Days to see the rodeo, and I'm
We
like,
like Peach Days.
oh yeah, we
Yeah.
love Peach Days. I'm like, well, they're
We
a
love
couple
the
weeks
fair.
apart. You can come
I was like,
party
it's party for a month.
for a month if you want
Yeah.
to. So
You guys do such a great job year after year
Thank
too. So
Thank you.
we appreciate your work. So
you figuring out something besides lip syncing this year?
I'm working on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making
something
sure.
more embarrassing for Stan to do.
Not sure I'm dressing up like a woman again, but we'll see.
It's my favorite. Hey, at least I did it this year. Yeah, I'm not doing it again either.
All right. I'd make a motion, we give permission to the, Brigham City,
The Box
Chamber?
Elder Chamber of Commerce.
Box Elder Chamber of Commerce to use the county grounds for Peach Days.
I'll second that. Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks,
Thank
Monica. Okay.
Sheriff. Sheriff, you want to come up here and we're going to have a little discussions about housing for critical services? Do you want to start off or you want to? It came to our attention probably when we were going through this kind of a lull in deputies and everything else that's going on in critical services, that there's just some things we can do and some things we can't. And I called Kevin probably on a Saturday or Sunday, which he answers his phone anyway, and I kind of blew this around by him about the county has some ground south of Bear River City, and we've been making about $3,000 a year off of it. And there's some places in Park City and other places that have kind of done this for critical infrastructure because the housing market's so hard to get to. But we were talking about using that 40 acres and bringing in a developer to be able to start doing some housing for critical services like fire and police and deputies and things like that. So I know Kevin talked a little bit about it to some other, if you want to talk to some other sheriffs about what they said about the state.
Yeah, I went to some of those ones who have Moab, Park City, that it's become too expensive to live, and their deputies are having long commutes, and they all said this was a great idea. They wish they'd have done it back before things got really bad, and they loved the idea, and all of them were for it. And even if you didn't do anything more, just set it aside the ground right now, and you could do the stuff later, they all wish they'd have done it. They think this is a great idea. So deputies can't live in, nobody can afford to live in Moab.
Well,
Let me interrupt you for a second. I just, open our, we have a public hearing at 5:15 on our asphalt bids and then also on the vacate. So I'm just going to open that public hearing right now. Then we'll go ahead and let you finish, Sheriff.
Okay.
and so I've checked into some low-income housing funds that the county has still, and it looks like we've got, ample funds, but I'd like to get together with maybe Scott and Mitch and put in an RFP to see if there's anybody out there that would actually look at doing a development in that arena, and we can talk to them later about whether it's, they rent the houses, they build the houses, but we give them a lot for free or something that would put something down, because $40,000 down on a house for critical infrastructure, we can do that kind of stuff. So our housing funds are with Bragg, so he's going to get with me tomorrow and see how much is available in that fund to where we can actually do some of this stuff for some of these people. So, but we've also talked about sheriffs and teachers and medical workers and things like that are just starting out, to be able to give them a little, I hate to say throw them a bone to stay here, but I think throwing them a bone is probably a pretty good reason to stick. So,
Well, and it's beneficial having our deputies live in our communities whenever we can. So,
Absolutely. Great.
yeah.
so we appreciate the sheriff department helping us.
And that'll be working through the Bragg office.
Yeah.
Right, Bragg.
Bragg will help us
So,
decide where we're going to put those housing funds that we got from all the RDAs and stuff. So if there's anybody else that, that has any better ideas or something that can help, feel free to reach out to us, because I think that's something we had 15% growth last year in the housing market in Box Elder County. So that's a little crazy. Okay.
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks,
Sheriff. Okay. Looks like we'll go ahead and have Bill come up first, and we'll do our asphalt oil bids, and then we'll have Scott Lyons come up. Okay.
We sent a RFP and an advertised notice on our oil bids out to some of the main suppliers through Utah and Idaho for chip seal oil and also asphalt emulsion. The first bid that we're going to be opening is Peak Asphalt out of North Salt Lake. The first item on Peak Asphalt's bid is the 1,100 tons of LM CRS2. That's per UDOT specification at $412 per ton. The next item is 230 tons of CSS1, 1-to-1 ratio, at $233 per ton. And they also gave a freight quote of $41 per ton. And they had no cost on the other items on our list. The next bid is Idaho Asphalt out of Blackfoot, Idaho. On the 1,100 tons of LM CRS2, they came in at $675 per ton. They gave a bid on the CRS2A that we will pick up for our Durapatcher machine at $435 per ton, and a freight cost to Tremonton at $35.50, and no bid on the other items. Let's see. The next bid is from ASI, that's Asphalt Systems Incorporated. They bid on the GSB 88 at $658 per ton, and that was 70 tons. The 70 tons of pass oil, they bid at $1,020 per ton.
How much was that again, Bill?
The 70 tons of pass oil was $1,020 per ton.
Okay.
At a freight cost of $35 per ton.
And that's the only thing they had?
Yes, no bid on the other items.
Okay.
The last bid is from Mountain States Asphalt, aka Suncor Oil.
Is that one?
No, it's Mountain States, it's the second one.
Mountain States, correct?
Second one on the list. He did Idaho.
They came in at a bid of $475 on the LM CRS2, the 1,100 tons. That was $475 per ton. The 230 tons of CSS1, 1-to-1, they bid at $235 per ton. On the MC800, they came in at $525 per ton. That was 32 tons. On the 30 tons of CRS2A for our Durapatcher, they came in at $425 per ton. And the freight cost to Tremonton was $33.75. And if I could, I'd like to be able to take these back and go through them and check on the specification of the oil, and also confirm that they will be able to deliver 2 tankers per day during our chip season.
Okay.
And confer on those and come back and have the commission awarded, possibly the next commission.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's have you do that then.
Was there any bids on the, there was no bids on the one, right?
I think you got all of them.
You got
Oh,
all-
the one, there was a bid on every item,
Okay,
Yeah,
so, yeah.
all right.
okay.
Yep, so yeah, if you can look those over and then come back to us, that'd be great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. That makes me think of spring. Here comes the roads.
Okay, Scott.
All right, so this public hearing is for a road vacate in the Riverside area. You probably have in your electronic packets, but anyway, the applicant is requesting that, so the original Riverside plat that was recorded in the 1800s, late 1800s, basically had the roadways, and then between blocks had alleyways. So much of the Riverside plat, these alleyways have been vacated, and oftentimes in this case is one of those times you'll have the same owner who owns kind of that whole block. Blocks consist of 4 lots. They own that whole block, including the alleyway that runs through the middle of it, and they've basically been using it, whether it be for agriculture or for basically their yard, that sort of thing. In this one, you can see on the aerial imagery on the back side of that, you can see that this one is that case exactly. It's basically an alleyway in the middle of their field. So they requested that that the alleyway be vacated, and this would basically just erase that gap that you see in the survey, so that those lots would then go to the center line of that alleyway, and the existing landowner would own to the center line on both sides. this went before the planning commission, and the planning commission made a recommendation of approval. And so then it comes before you for a public hearing.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Okay, well, we'll open the time. If anybody would like to speak to this vacate, you're welcome to come up. Please state your name and you can share what you want on this particular item. If there's anyone.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd also make a motion that we approve the vacate. What is it? Have you got a
So it doesn't have an ordinance number yet.
Okay.
The way the county vacate policy reads is
before or
that,
after?
yeah, if you motion to approve it, then you would at the same time direct us to bring that ordinance back at the next meeting is what the policy states. So,
Okay.
So I make a motion that we approve the vacate in Riverside.
Okay. I have a motion by, second. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Is there a lot of this stuff up that way?
just in the Riverside area.
Because I know Tremont went through his 15, 20 years ago and basically got rid of all their
Alleyways.
alleyways.
Garland have a few of those that we did away with too.
I'm
Well,
not sure.
Garden City,
In the
but-
unincorporated area,
Unincorporated, yeah.
Riverside's the only one we've dealt with.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if we ought to, in your spare time,
Just go through and,
go through and get ahead of the game so
Look at all
I
of
don't
them.
have to come do this stuff.
yeah, we can take a look at those.
Okay.
So we'll bring an ordinance back at the next meeting that makes this official.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Next item is the Alex Frank Munns subdivision. This is located at 13525 North, 6000 West. This is essentially what this subdivision is doing is bringing a non-compliant parcel into compliance. So it's a 0.28 acre parcel. It was actually smaller than that before. The subdivision enlarged it slightly, took care of some access easements and different things like that. It's been reviewed by all applicable county departments and comes before you with a recommendation of approval.
This has been worked on a while, huh?
It has been, yeah, in the pipeline for a couple months.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the Alex Frank Munn subdivision.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one is the Dennis Nelson subdivision. This is a one-lot subdivision, just north of Corinne, 4860 north, 3200 west. This is a 5-acre lot. It's just one lot being split off of a larger agricultural piece. This one as well has been through all applicable departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
I don't got any questions.
I don't have any questions either. I'm just pulling up the map on it.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Dennis Nelson subdivision.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Ordinance 509. This is an ordinance creating an agricultural subdivision. So there are two types of agricultural subdivisions. If you're just splitting ag land from ag land, those just need to go through the planning commission. In this one, there is a single-family home being split off of ag land. So in that case, it is required to go to the legislative body. With that being said, this is located at 7280 west, 9600 north, and is splitting the home off of the ag land. So this has been before the planning commission also, and comes with a recommendation of approval.
I make a motion, we approve the ordinance 509, the Mary Ellen Agricultural Subdivision.
Second, I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ordinance 510. This is a text amendment, a requested text amendment, amending chapter 3-4, which is our commercial and manufacturing zone chapter in the land use code. So it's specifically requesting that the commercial highway zone be amended to allow motor vehicle sales as a permitted use in that zone. Currently, motor vehicle sales are allowed in, let's see, the commercial shopping zone, the general commercial zone, the commercial enterprise zone, and the manufacturing zone. But it was not an allowed use in the highway commercial zone. So a landowner has requested that that change be made. This request went before the Planning Commission at their meeting in February. The public hearing was held. No comment was made, and the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of approval to the County Commission.
Is there anything that they have to do, like ons and offs and stuff like we've made other people do to be able to pull in and off if they're gonna do that right off the highway?
So that would be addressed at the site plan level. So
Okay.
this basically just says whether or not that use would be allowed in that zone.
Okay,
Currently, there's only 2 areas of the county that have this zone. There's a small section of buildings in South Willard,
Right.
where the Flying J used to be.
Yeah.
And then there's a section at, what do you call it, the top of the hill out there in Bothwell.
okay.
So those are the only 2 commercial highway zones currently. People in the future can request to zone their property
And then they have to come
highway.
through the, okay.
As if someone were to ask for this use, then at the time of request for the use for the motor vehicle sales, then we address ingress and egress to the property as well as several other
So I was
items.
just thinking about the wheatland seed thing that kind of went for years and
Uh-huh.
then finally, okay, that's what I was
So
wondering.
that'd be addressed at the time of application for the use itself.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the ordinance 510 text amendment to highway commercial zone.
Second, I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
So this final one, I don't know if, Joan, did you want to come up for this one as well?
Sure.
Unless you want to hide in the back?
Yeah, let's do a little background on this.
Yeah.
This is a pretty cool.
Yeah, this is.
Did you want to give the background, since you've been involved a little longer than I have?
A couple of years ago, some of the counties got together and decided they wanted to do an ATV trail that started in Washington County and worked its way north. And originally it stopped in Twilla. And they've been working on this for a couple of years. And November, December of last year, they gave me a call. It's being spearheaded by my counterpart in Beaver County. And they said, you know, it occurred to us that we could make this go from the bottom of the state all the way to the top of the state, and would you guys like to participate?
They recognize that Bothell County is a part of the state. I'm proud of them.
So,
That's amazing.
You've been
so
saying it
we've done a little work,
In
and
Box County. Sorry.
Scott's done the lion's share of the work, and we've kind of worked on a trail that. So part of the trick to this is this trail is connected from the bottom of the state to the top of the state. And when your partner or your neighbor in Twilla County and you're separated by an interstate and the Great Salt Lake, it gets a little tricky. But we've identified a spot where we can connect, and we've just kind of been working through the process. It's called the High Desert Trail. And it's just a really fun project that really brings the state together and ties some trails in very nicely. And so I'm going to kind of let Scott take it from here. Is that okay? That what we were looking for?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's great background. So essentially, this resolution number 20-03 is basically stating your support for this trail, the portion of it passing through Box Elder County, as well as your support in the sense that we would continue to collaborate with the other counties along this corridor. There are things like signage that it's desired to keep the signs, what would you say, similar throughout the corridor so people know that they're on
The same trail.
the same trail. And, you know, maybe you'd have like a welcome to Box Elder County portion as you enter Box Elder County. And
There's a logo and a book and.
Kind of like the Paiute Trail, stuff like that,
Yeah.
where you're going through.
Mhm.
You can find out where you're headed and by the signs and signatures and stuff. That's way cool.
Exactly. So that's kind of what this resolution touches on, is basically your support of the trail, and portion of it passing through the county and our collaboration with other counties.
Poor Scott has to listen to me about this kind of stuff all the time when I send him my crazy ideas about the West Trail from the bird refuge that will go out to the Golden Spike, and now this one will actually connect with that if we get that one done.
Eventually.
And if we can connect Box Elder to Tooele, then I-15 West becomes a actual thing that we can talk about and
Well,
get some of these.
Spot where there's actually a place that goes under there's an underpass.
Yeah.
That's kind of our.
That's cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, this will be great. It'll help with the tourism out there as well, as far as, you know, the ATVing and stuff, but then it'll help us qualify for some federal money for some road stuff out there that we're looking at too, so.
Yeah, that'd be
Great.
awesome. Okay, I make a motion that we approve resolution 20-03 High Desert Trails.
Second, I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, Cody. Looks like you're up.
So we had the bid opening on Monday for the bookmobile. We were presented with 7 contractors that were interested on moving this forward. I don't know if you wanted me to read off their names and their quoted price, or do you want me to?
Probably ought to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had Raymond Construction. We had a building bid for $838,758, and the site plan bid was for $105,569, for a total of $944,327. ICE, they put a bid for $760,500 for the building. The site plan bid was $262,290.51 for a total of $1,022,790.51. Dean Stokes Construction, the building bid was $698,447.92, and the site plan bid was $204,056.25 for a total of $902,504.17. Axis Reclamation and Construction, the building bid was $757,798. The site plan bid was $156,973, with a grand total of $914,771. Patriot Construction put a building bid in for $787,723. The site plan bid was $172,106.33 for a grand total of $959,829.33. DWA Construction put in a building bid for $838,801.89. The site plan bid was for $173,913.11 for a grand total of $1,012,715. So the low bid was Dean Stokes Construction with a total of $902,504.17. So with that, they were able to build what the bookmobile was requesting with the offices and the storage, and then the site plan that's going to have to change some of the fairgrounds infrastructure there, just around the site plan themselves. So do you have the?
Cody, or I know Dean's local. Is any of the other local?
Dean is local. ICE is local.
I just didn't know.
Patriot Construction is local. DWA is also, I don't know if they're local, but they do all the school.
They're from Logan.
Yeah, they do Box Elder County
I just didn't know if
schools.
that 15% goes into that.
The 15%.
Because if we, for local, on a bid like this, if they're local, they get a 15%, so I didn't know if that.
Oh, yeah, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the 5 were
Okay.
local.
Mitch? Wait for a second, sorry.
No, you're all right.
Yeah.
There's a couple
You've
on
done
there.
some zip drives on this before.
That's why they're not letting me sit there.
So it's a USB drive. If not, do you have access to the H drive? I have the same. I have everything on H drive also.
Can't get it on the TV, I can get it on the computer. I can't
So-
get it on the TV.
If we're able to use Bill at all for site prep,
No, Bill's been too busy. Like with the bleachers, he committed to some, but with what happens during his busy time, he wasn't able to give us any time to help with any of that. So this is 100% everything that we need to build this. The tear down, the removal of the trees, removal of everything that we need. And
so everything that's going to the landfill, there's no sense of paying them to pay us. So we probably ought to look at that and see how much.
well, this covers everything. This covers the
C&D.
it covers all the costs for them to remove it. It covers them to remove everything. What we're paying for is 100%. So if you can go to, all right, so this is the placement of the bookmobile. So,
They're gonna have to move the fire hydrant.
yeah, there's a hydrant in front of that. You can see that water line. They're gonna have to tear down the carnival bathroom.
Will you put that on a state bid to see if anybody bids to come take it, please?
This is taking everything that's already done. Yeah, that's a part of that site
Just
plan.
trying to save you money.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Go to that Cody Pick 3 overlay. So this is what gives you an idea what it's going to be like during the fair. So this is one of the, I think we need to have a discussion about this. Corey's got some, I don't think I have, the department heads that are over some of these things really don't have the issue with placing it here. What they have issues is who's going to make the decisions to react to this. We need to keep a 20-foot, it's actually a 30-foot corridor for egress of emergency vehicles right through there. We also, there's some storm drain issues there that when we put this building in, we're going to have to address that also. We're going to have to move the carnival ride. They basically fight over to get as close to the grandstand as they want because that's where the people are at, and this is going to push them back. Again, these are all things that we can address, but we just need some direction of what's going to happen. That parking lot goes into the track itself, and that is for the employees that work there. There's three or four full-time employees. 4.
Well, but
They're there every day. They need to park and they need to pull in there where the trucks pull in and out. And then
Cody, can you explain the reasoning why it's pushed so far to the south instead of over where the old buildings are?
to the south, I mean, do you want it more towards the track? Is that?
No, I'm saying it's moved more to, why you're not putting it right over the old buildings, like?
The cinder block buildings?
Yeah.
Because if we remove those cinder block buildings, we will lose a lot of the commercial venues. We don't even have a quarter of we only be able to use the Bay 1 and the Bay 2. If we tear down those cinder block buildings, we'll lose all the interior carnival or commercial venues like the credit unions, those that come in and do selling equipment, selling vacuums, they rent all that out. And
But you'll be able to put the smaller building into that, so eventually when we
The smaller building, that Bay 1 and Bay 2 was almost half of what that smaller building is. So if we tore down that smaller building, we still don't have enough square feet to put those venues back in there.
Okay.
So the reason what we're putting there is I basically has been instructed to set that there for now. So that's really, I mean, we can, the numbers here for the building itself, we can place that wherever you guys feel works best for the fair. This is where I was instructed to put it, and so
I think that going east and west will be great.
but putting it here, we're going to have to remove the track. We're going to have to push the fair out south, the carnivals. We'll have to find a different place for the sheriff's command center. Is that? It's a command center there. These are all things that we can do, but we just need instruction.
I think, and of course, Commissioner Scott's not here to chime in, but I think that we continue to have a discussion on this because my biggest concern, the building bids, to me, came in pretty reasonable.
Oh, they're great. Even
but
the
drainage
architect
issue
is like,
is my biggest concern, and I don't want this project running
and that's
way over into, yeah. And so that's, I think, you know, even if we have to take our time a little bit, make sure we get this right.
Absolutely. These bids are only good. I'll look at the numbers and see how long they'll be good for. But yeah, that's another one of the issues. When we did the bleachers, we created a whole new storm drain from the bleachers to the south, but we actually need a whole new storm drain system that actually we've been put on hold for years that Jan has been pushing for. We need a whole new storm drain from Jan's office over to that. We need, and we haven't been able to do that because the bookmobile's been on schedule. So it's nothing that we knew that was coming. We just needed to react to what is put there. So
Well, let's get to the point, like I said, that they're being pushed out of Willard
absolutely
completely. So Willard's growing and they're gonna push them out of there, the office, and
I would love the idea to move that further south so that if we do build because we're thinking in the future, if we do build another big fine arts building that take the place of the 2 cinder block, if we put it right there, we're really keyholing our growth there. We're really saying we can't get a bigger building there. And as growth comes, I mean, these are all decisions that you elected officials get to. I'll put it wherever you want me to.
You still have the same drainage issues even if you push it further south?
I will.
You just said, never mind.
Yeah. But so a part of this site plan here, I have to move the pipe and I have to put in 2 new storm drain boxes, and then we have to reconnect to existing. So right now the storm drain goes right through the middle of this building, so we have to move it around.
Is there a storm drain going on the east side of the road?
Yes. We would go up and connect up to the top.
That's what I thought.
What I would love to do is incorporate all the storm drain with what we just did with the bleachers. Make this a big storm drain project.
Because I know we just barely got permission from the church to be able to dump it.
I don't even want to put it in there. I want to take it all the way out and dump it onto the highway. That way we don't need to fulfill those contract requirements. If we pipe that all the way down, we put it in the detention basin that we just built, we meet the state requirements, so we don't need to adhere to that.
If nobody's driven by and seen the swell that we did right behind the train garden to help with drainage, that's been a real big help, right?
And then we would be able to maintain that, and we wouldn't need to maintain a private irrigation line. So I'll look and see how long these will be good for. I can, if you give me instruction, I can meet with Dean and we can start picking colors and things. The placement, I think we can react. I know Jan would love to have this building done before the fair.
Which fair?
This fair, but really, really, I'm excited because really this does impact the fair, but we can still perform and do the fair with this in construction phase. I know Jan's not; she's back there trying to kick me.
Stan won't have any place to park.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We're losing all that parking in the front of those trees, and we're losing all that parking in there for the vendors. So those are all things that we need to think about. But again, I'll put it where you guys. So, no, those are all. How are we going to get vendors in there? Those are all things that if we put that there, we're going to have to build something to allow them vendors to come in. We're going to have to react to this pretty heavily, so we need a lot of input on this. If this is the choice, we need everybody on board.
I say continue, like, work with Dean Stokes, since it's a lower bid. Let's move forward on it, but we still need to have that discussion on, do we want to pull the
I
trigger
mean,
on that
access
drainage?
coming from the west, I mean, we can have an
Yeah.
access from the
Yeah.
west if we're gonna do that.
I would love to get Jones and Associates on board and do an actual storm drain study out here, and that way we can show when we dump that water to the state,
Okay.
we've done what we needed to do. The same requirements require anybody else to do
And
this type of
You're gonna
work,
have to do that regardless, right?
regardless, because we'll have to react, and we
Okay.
might as well get them on board now. But I can hold off on Dean for a while if you guys want to just.
No, I think we ought to just,
Well,
You guys tell me what you
I
want.
would say I'd proceed with your suggestion right there, that last one. Proceed with the checking on the drainage and doing that study. And then, I mean, you said these bids are good for
I'll look and
6
see.
months
They,
or whatever.
I put 6 months in the bid, but some of them didn't say we couldn't guarantee. I know right now in April, concrete's going up 20%.
Okay.
And so, but they will still adhere to the bids before that. So these are all things that,
I would make a motion that we instruct you to go do that with Dean and approve this pending the storm drain access. And then we can come back and decide whether we're gonna, what part of the track we can tear out and where we're gonna come in with the access, if it's from the west for the vendors or what we can do. So I would motion that we get that done, and so.
Okay, I'll second that. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
right?
And let us know.
Okay,
Make
Thank
sure
you,
you
Cody.
get Jan.
I'll get
And
everybody.
everybody.
Okay.
Okay, let me know. Thanks, Cody.
Yep. Okay, Jenica. Okay,
Okay. I'll make a motion, we go into a closed session to talk about personnel. You got anything else?
second. I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.